Sometimes I marvel at the quality of the guests that we managed to get here on Balls, and today is no exception. We've got a man here who is the managing director of Harvey World Travel, one of the biggest travel companies in the country, Marco Cristofoli. He's here to chat about his SME corporate travel offerings, because obviously a lot of you guys out there who are listening to Balls are interested in these particular things. You own your own small companies, your own medium companies. You're sitting at home probably now listening to Balls with nobody else around you, and we figured this is the exact kind of offering that you might be interested in. So, firstly, welcome to the studio, Marco.
Thank you, Warren, and thanks for having me. We really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Oh,
to address your listeners.
Fantastic. Okay, all right. Let's start right at the beginning, Marco. Right, SME corporate travel is it's a difficult thing for a lot of companies to impact, because obviously it's you're dealing with small people, small individual needs, and you're tailor making packages and things for them. But this is something that you've chosen to focus on at Harvey. Tell us the basic introduction.
Yes, so essentially Harvey, has been around for over 20 years. It's a household name in the South African market, and we've always really traditionally been seen as a leisure brand within the market. But strangely enough, we don't only play in the leisure space. If we look at our business mix, we're sitting on about 60% SME corporate business and only 40% leisure. So we identified that we needed to do a lot more in the leisure, in the SME corporate space, because really that's by default that's the space that we've always been playing in. So over the last year, our strategy has really been to grow that SME business and make it happen. Again, I think one of the things in travel is that we all sell the same commodity. We all sell travel tickets. We all sell cars. We sell hotels. But what is really the differentiator? And I think from a Harvey perspective, the differentiator is quite simple. Really, it's that we are owner-managed businesses. So we have over 80 businesses out there that are owned by the boss, essentially. Right. And the difference that makes is that because they people are dealing with the boss, they obviously go the extra mile because they want a sustainable business going forward. And really, that's been our success. The other thing is that these businesses have been in their respective communities for many, many years and have built relationships. And in any business, in any service industry business, the differentiator is service. And people come back for good service. And hence why we wanted to really expand the SME sort of offering.
Right, and I suppose, as you say there, you're viewed very much as being an overarching kind of huge corporate, a large leisure holiday brand, but in fact, you're a number of smaller companies, which is how you're then able to implement the unique service towards people that they need. All right, so how do companies actually begin to deal with you on an SME basis on a
All right, so fundamentally, they would have a relationship fundamentally with one of the branches within their communities. So they would approach the branch, as they would for their normal travel offerings, and then obviously they would be taken through, there would be a needs analysis would be done for their businesses. What we always say is that or what we do is, we always treat our SMEs as valued customers, because we never lose sight that one day these SMEs are going to be big corporations.
Right.
And again, as I said before, the sustainability of our business depends on making sure that the offerings are right. And I suppose, the great thing that we have to offer is that because we are also part of a larger group, which is the Bidvest group, it also gives us economies of scale when we do, supplier negotiations, which we can then pass on to the SMEs. So basically, it's like dealing with a big corporation. You're getting all the same benefits, but you're getting that close personal service and relationship that you wouldn't necessarily get when dealing with a big corporation, because as we know, you just become a number ultimately with a big organization.
Right. Well, you've been talking about offerings and benefits and things. What are some of the benefits of joining with Harvey?
Right. So the benefits again, so it's obviously because we are part of a bigger group, our rates and our offerings, because of the economies of scale, are such that we are able to offer a much superior offering from a supply negotiation perspective. So the SME would be able to get a better deal than you would if you went in alone. So, for example, just by way of example, if you're negotiating on behalf of a big group with a spend of X amount of billions versus an SME trying to negotiate a deal with an airline on his own accord,
Right.
he's never going to get the same deal and percentage deal that he would get through an SME. So that fundamentally is one of the big pluses for a SME joining a group like a Harvey. The second thing is obviously that close personal relationship that they would get. And again, it's personal service. So to the extent, that they would go to the guy's house, they would go to the guy's business, they would, it really becomes a personal relationship. So you're not just a number. And all the spade work that an SME would have to do via the internet, researching, spending time and effort, is all taken away through dealing with one of the Harveys in the respective regions or areas or communities that they are based in, and that work is all done for them. The rates are obviously competitive in terms of the fees that are charged, because again we also cognizant that you have to be competitive within the marketplace. But I suppose one of the big things that I have to mention is that because of the economies of scale and because of the sizes of these businesses, the overheads are fairly low. So those overheads aren't passed on to the consumer ultimately. We're a big organization. Unfortunately, we all know has big overheads that they need to recover. And again, ultimately those costs are passed on to the consumer. So kind of those are the benefits. It's you're dealing with the boss ultimately, who wants to give you that service. And because you're dealing with a big group, you're getting the economies of scale in terms of supply negotiation, and you're getting that close personal touch that you wouldn't with, you're not a number. Essentially,
right. I think the thing is sometimes people imagine, if they're going to get themselves a travel partner or a travel agent that's going to organize these sorts of things for them, that it's going to be hellishly expensive. But it really doesn't. It works out to a couple $100 per ticket or something, and it's not a massive thing that's going to break your bank, and it's actually probably likely going to free up some hours for you to do your actual business and
very
focus
much
on.
So. And I mean, that's quite a good point. We always laugh. I mean, there's so many examples, but you'll get a guy that does a round the world booking for 90,000 rand, and then they'll have a problem because the service fee is 300 rand. So it's a bit of a contradiction, but those are the fees. That's how low they really are.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
It's and again, we really don't we don't make our money off the service fees per se. Those are sort of costs that you've got to cover in terms of running the business, the day-to-day business. But really, where our money is really made fundamentally is through the supply negotiations and through the deals that we do with all our suppliers, being the airlines, the hotels, the car companies, etc. So fundamentally, that's where we make our margins essentially. But again, let me stress again that the margins in travel are really low. I mean, you know what they are.
It's something we say week in, week out on the show.
If you look at our bottom line profit, I mean, it's anything between 1.7 1.8%. So it's not we're not a money making operation. we really are a small business that is reliant on volume for our sustenance.
Right. You say that people then they just literally walk into the local agency, or they look up somebody. I suppose you've got a facility online.
Yes. So there's an online web page which they would go onto. That then directs them to the nearest Harvey in their community, and then again, you're guaranteed to be dealing with an owner or a business manager that has your interest at heart. I mean, that's how simple it is, and it's really then making that initial contact and getting it off the ground. The other thing I wanted to say is that we also are part of the we are a proud member, an exclusive member of the SME Council, small business.
Right.
And we're proud to be a partner of them. And the reason we are proud is because we really believe that fundamentally that's where this country's economy is going to grow, is with the small business enterprises. These are the guys that are going to create employment, and that's why we spend a lot of time and effort being a part of, being a proud member of the Small Business Council.
Right. Well, I know, for instance, that there is a website online. If you want more information on this, it's at harveyworld.co.za/business-travel. Or are there contact details that people can get hold of? Maybe there's a call center or somebody that they can call, or an online social media page, or a...
No, I mean, it's you. I think you've got it on the web page. What happens is once you call that number, you'll come through to our head office, which is based in Rivonia.
Right.
And from there, you will be directed to the branch nearest to you.
Right.
So
Well, I see there's actually an inquiry page here
there's
as
an
well. You
inquiry
can fill in your details and
Correct.
your company's name and where it is, and people will actually get back to you.
Correct.
So that
and I
helps.
would just encourage people to phone. I mean, phone us, and you'll discover that we are literally a call away. We have no bureaucracy. There's no, you don't have layers and layers of hierarchy and call centers that you need to go through. This is really a big business, but a small business.
Right.
You've got the support of a big business, but we're small enough to be able to, to get off the ground pretty quickly. So there's no reams of paper that needs to be filled in, huge applications. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, that's
Contact
absolutely
us, we'll
perfect.
contact you, and we'll make it happen.
Well, there you are. Thank you very much, Marco. That was simple, easy, and I think a lot easier than people were expecting, and also a lot cheaper, guys. Genuinely, it's well worth a try.